What's up, guys? I'm back at the range. I want to show you what I just did on purpose. I promise, on purpose. I'm going to show you how I did it. The white spot. Extra points. I'll show you how I did it in a second. Okay, before I get to the demonstration portion of how I made that happen, let's get to the conversational piece of what this is. As a lot of us know, Lancaster, we have this white dot is extra points. That could mean a win, a loss. We're not Bodie Turner or Stefan Hansen who can sit there and hit that thing over and over again, which is mind-boggling. If you saw any of the tournament last year, it was absolutely stunning. Phenomenal shooters, compound shooters, and what they're doing is incredible. Even more incredible if you watched the Lancaster Classic last year. Raymond against Eric. Eric stepped on that button and he hit that white dot. And I got to tell you, the place erupted, and it was the coolest shot I think I've ever seen in Barebow archery. Whether he meant to hit it or not, the fact that he stepped on that button and hit that spot was honestly the coolest shot I've ever seen in archery. And I was almost happier for Eric than I was for Ray for hitting that dot than I was for Ray winning the match. But kudos to both of those warriors. Eric, of course, one of the best shooters, one of the best barebow shooters we've probably ever seen. And Ray coming up from nowhere, I should say out of nowhere, to win that tournament, shooting the 3 spot, which is what I'm doing now. And we'll get to that at another time. But so the question is, how do we hit that dot? And can we hit it? And what's the likelihood? So let's start there. The likelihood is not good. The likelihood that we aim at that dot and actually hit it is quite low. I'm speaking for myself, right? So I am not an X shooter. I don't sit there and pound that X over and over and over again. You have to not necessarily be lucky, but you need to be an amazing shooter to hit that X over and over again. And what you're asking of yourself is to be able to hit that white dot on command. Right now, I'm going to shoot at it and I'm going to hit it. I spent quite a bit of time shooting at that particular dot, and it took me a minute to learn how to hit it. And it's what's difficult about it is, for me, is the lateral portion. You guys have seen me shoot and my demonstrations of shooting. Typically, I hang to the left side of a target when I shoot at it. That's a form issue. I have my new GMX I've been shooting. I've got it the other day. It's shooting absolutely amazing. And I am able to put more in the yellow, more to the right and center than I am pushing them off to the left. I've been shooting quite well as of late. But the key is being able to hit the X consistently. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you try to aim at this dot somehow, it is very difficult trying to aim at the dot. So what I mean by that is, if your typical or standard method of aiming, I'll just give some examples, is, let's call it a 6 o'clock hold, or a lollipop hold, as some of us call it, which means you put your arrow and you hold it at the bottom of the yellow. So it kind of, your visual sits where the yellow is right here. Well, what you have to take into consideration is that there's roughly an 1.5 inch, 1 3/4 between the bottom of the yellow and the middle of that X. And they're the same size, right? Or pretty much the same size. I've never measured it, but I'm pretty sure it's the same size. So if you're holding here to roughly hit here, you have an 1.5 inches of play. So what you need to take into consideration is, and we'll just do a rough rudimentary, I'll move the camera closer so you can see what I'm doing. You don't need to see my face. It's helpful to see the target. But if you see here, if I hold the pointy point of my arrow, let's get it even closer, on the spider, and the bottom of my thumb at the bottom of the yellow. When I translate this down, look at that. It's pretty damn close to the bottom of the blue to the bottom of the white. So if you try to do a 6 o'clock hold on this, you'll probably hit high. So what you need to do, or the way you need to practice, is by taking that 6 o'clock hold and you need to move it to below the blue to hit high. Right? That's if you're, just your normal crawl at this particular distance, right? Now, you can complicate things a bit because some people will say, and I'm going to discuss this in extreme detail, and you guys are going to have to earn this video through subscriptions, but some people will say, I hold on the yellow. And that can mean several things. But for all intents and purposes, what I'm going to describe here is what I think people are doing when they say they hold on the yellow. So what they do is they take the horizon of their arrow and they kind of do this. I'm just kind of imagining an arrow, and they kind of cut the yellow in half. I still think we all tend to shotgun that view. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. That's what you do. That's what you do. But then when you try to translate it and bring it to this part, it's going to be a lot harder to see that dot. So you're trying to shotgun approach at this. Now, what I do, the way I aim, and again, I'll discuss this later, is I hold on and I keep that hold on the yellow, or however I aim, but I change my crawl so that the arrow drops into that spot, right? So I don't aim at this dot. I don't aim below it. I just aim how I normally aim, and I lower my crawl to make this hit the dot. Now, I'm saying make it hit the dot. I don't really mean hit the dot. I wish I could just aim and hit that dot. I just cannot do it. So we're relying on chance here. But what I am suggesting you do is find your normal aim, whether it's here or here, right? Point on or 6 o'clock hold, and change your crawl so that it drops into here. Now, you folks who would lollipop hold under the yellow, you might be able to lollipop hold under the blue. But when you add the large face, let's grab one real quick. When you add the large face, you're now having to hold here. And if you can't see this line from downrange, from 20 yards away, how are you going to be able to get to here? Right? We need to make that jump, that 1.5-inch jump. So there's a reason I shoot this face, and I'm going to describe it again in that video when I talk about my aiming and how I think you can improve your aim. So subscribe and learn how I aim and what I do and what other people I know that shoot well, what they do. And I'll tell you. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to demonstrate what I'm doing here. And what's going to happen is we're going to find the crawl. I'm going to find my normal crawl, show you how it hits and impacts across this whole target. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my crawl, but aim the same. And what we're trying to do is get the vertical height of the white dot. That's all you need to do is get the vertical height as close as you can to that white dot, because your lefts and rights are what's going to suffer more than anything. You can find the horizontal, you can find the vertical pretty easily. It's the lefts and rights you're going to struggle with. We all do. We're all going to struggle with it. And so, okay, let's go. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to go back down range. We're going to shoot 3 arrows. I'm going to bring it down. We're going to show it to you. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to change my crawl. I'm going to exaggerate it in different directions and watch how it hits high and low. And then we're going to find that vertical height. All right, let's go do that. Can I go pull those?
Oh, yeah. Please, go ahead.
All right, well, this is live. This target is going to be a perfect example of what I really want to get across, like the point I want to make. It's a perfect example. Okay, so here's my target. What you see is a 10 left, right on the 9 o'clock line, a 9 on the 3 o'clock line, and a 10 on the 3 o'clock line. And if you notice, I'm gonna take another arrow. Let's look at the X spider and my height. And you can see that in a straight line, this height I have is pretty damn perfect in relation to that dot. It's pretty much right in line with that dot, which means that my normal crawl, and I'm going to show it to you, see if you can see it. Here's my tab. It's the tab I use every day. My crawl, we'll just say is, I don't know what you can see, is that mark right above center. So here's my center. It's the next one, that one there. Okay. This is how I get to here. It's going to be different for everybody, so it's irrelevant that you see mine. Okay. Now, the point I was trying to make here, shot 3 arrows. They all fell right at that same height. All good and well. Now, I'm going to aim exactly the same. I'm going to lower my crawl. I'm going to exaggerate it, and we're going to see where the arrows fall. Aim the same, change the crawl. Okay, let's end here. Okay, so I'm back at the line. So I'll show you again. That's my normal mark right there. Assuming you can see it, that's my normal mark right there. What I'm going to do is go down to this guy right here. We're going to aim the same, but I'm going to crawl to that mark. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to head back down range. You saw I aimed the same, changed my crawl big time, right? What would you expect? I told you I was going to exaggerate it. It'd be low. Exactly what you'd expect. Low, low, low. So pull these, aim the same. Again, we're going to go up a mark, 1 mark. So I went down like 3. I'm going to go up 1. We're going to see what we get. Okay, watch this. So we were here. Now we're going to go there. There's my original. That's my next. Okay. So now going to show you something pretty cool. Aim the same, crawl different. Now what do you see? All I did was come up that one mark. Look at my height in relation to that dot. Both of them. Do you see that? This one's a little high. Shot may have been a little off. That's okay. So I still don't think these are perfect. And the tune changes a little bit. But what I'm going to do, I got to get out of these guys' way. I'm going to pull these. I'm going to go up one thread off of that last mark. Okay, so let's go try that. Clear? All right, so I let it play, obviously, because I want you to see in real time what I'm doing. I don't edit this because I want you to learn. And you saw, so I didn't cut. There's everyone walking down range. I just want to show you, you saw my first shot, looked good. My second one, I had a letdown. And I took that second shot. It was crappy. Super high pressure arrow because I knew what the first one did. And then I was more comfortable after that third shot. So you can see this one, I am just off that spot. I mean, 3 millimeters, 2 millimeters, maybe. Second shot was my crappy shot. You can see it's in the white. And you can see maybe my third shot, I hit it. I caught it on purpose, right? So it was just a demonstration. I'm done with this now on how I got it there, that you can do it too. Aim the same, change your crawl. The left and right is all you have to worry about. A good controlled shot should get you there. I'm clear, guys. A good controlled shot should get you there. You control the height. You control the vertical. The left and right's a different story, right? We're not shooting compound bows. We're shooting bare bows, long bows, whatever. So make the choice. Find your crawl. Find your aim correctly. And just change the crawl to affect the vertical. That's all you have to do. Take a good shot, pray for X. That's all you can do. And that's it. This was going to be a quick one. I knew it. I wanted to get this out there before Lancaster, which is in a week for me. My qualifications are in a week from right now. And so I wanted to put this out there. Now, who gets to shoot that dot? We only get to shoot it if we're on the final stage. So that in and of itself is a rare thing. We know that. And then being able to even need this skill is a whole other level, right? So it's good to have in your quiver, so to speak. There's my pun for the day. But we need to get to the stage first before this is even utilized. But let's say you do prepare for that stage and you get there and you need to hit that spot. How are you going to do it? You just saw me do it. I showed you how to do it. So learn that method. Hopefully it's helpful to you. And I will see you guys in a week. And remember, make it look good. Peace.